I got some short shorts on and a tank top, and I'm sweating hard as hell, running down the street, running the wrong way down a freeway, then you're gonna say that person is crazy. But if 100 other people do it with me, then it's a marathon.
Part 1. What is making and what is creating? Utilitarian describes something practical, functional, and designed for use, often to the exclusion of aesthetic consideration, aka no feeling. That's the essence of making. It's an agreement you have with the creative, unconscious part of your mind. An agreement that forces it to be silent so that the efficient, the logical part of the brain can work. Making is assembly, the act of putting things together, efficiently, deliberately, and often predictably. And thus, optimization is closely tied to making. To optimize is to understand the outcome. Unlike making, which ends at the product, creating starts a conversation. It opens the door to discomfort. Social proof tells us that if a product doesn't sell 100,000 units or a video doesn't have 100,000 views, it's a bad creation. To create is to be unsure how people will accept your creation. The very act of creating is vulnerable. Because your soul, the essence of your identity, is tied to your creation. Unlike something just made, for your creation not to be received is to be the bastard child of society. 2. The importance of putting yourself in the art. What separates a masterpiece from a mass-produced object isn't technique, it's presence, the artist's presence. Before the use of influencer marketing and corporate branding, audiences connected directly with creators. Musicians, painters, artists, people heard straight from the source. The artist's work was enough to sell themselves, and thus no marketing. Today, that connection is often fractured. Brands use influencers as intermediaries, distancing themselves from the actual product's success. Meanwhile, influencers might distance themselves contractually with the brand's long-term success, becoming mere voices for hire. This layered separation dilutes authenticity, and honestly blurs the lines of authentic expression. When you put yourself into the work, it quite literally lives. It breathes different. People might not know why, but they feel it. Perhaps that's why artists' best songs come from earlier in their career, without ghostwriters or extra input. Creating isn't just about producing, it's about embedding yourself in the work. That presence turns art into something alive, something that moves people, not just markets. 3. What's even considered art? It's not determined by critics, institutions, or market value. Art is quite literally intent. It's the impact it has. And it's impossible to measure this impact through a utilitarian lens, focused on optimization. From that angle, humans become mere numbers, and impact is reduced to a lead funnel. But the true impact that creation has on the individual cannot be quantified. Take for example an artist, whose early work was created through genuine expression and connected deeply with their fans. Their streaming numbers might appear the same after ghost-written lyrics and overproduced vocals, but in reality, the artist is losing emotional contact with the audience. The raw authenticity has faded, and what seems like a successful launch on paper remains hollow inside. Making can fulfill practical needs and produce results in a very specific situation, but creating goes beyond function. It demands that we embed a piece of ourselves in the work, exposing our own humanity and all of its complexity. So don't just make something, create something.